Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hello world, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is the Locker Gnome Daily Report, or TLDR for short, your daily dose of tech news, gadget views, and answers that you can use. And before I begin with this report, let me just say that my heart goes out to everybody who has been impacted by the tragic events that unfolded at the Boston Marathon today. I am certainly aware that the loss of human life, no matter when or where it happens, and sadly, this happens far too frequently, this is always something to be aware of. When it hits closer to home, some people definitely become a lot more sensitive to it, but I am ever aware of just how precious life is. So if you can't handle this content today, the video will still be here for you tomorrow, as will I. However, I am still doing this, and I'm going to push forward based on the feedback from you, a greater part of you, who responded to the thread on Facebook. And many of you said, yeah, you want to learn to move forward after trying to make sense of something that makes no sense. And I'm just here to give you my perspective of technology and geek culture. That's all I can do, as well as to tell you I'm just as human as the rest of us, and we should always mourn the loss of life. Before I learned of the tragedy in Boston today, I had posed whether or not I should actually be doing a live review of the Surface Pro here on YouTube based on an earlier thread on the same Facebook page, facebook.com/Chris Pirillo. I had posed this scenario where I have hardware that I know you want me to review, but believe it or not, it is a little stressful to get through a review, and I find that stress is alleviated when I do it live on YouTube, and it's a lot of fun, and I think you guys find some enjoyment out of being a part of a live experience or watching it after it's live. So I threw the idea of future reviews in the Locker Gnome channel, specifically related to hardware, happening live on YouTube, and it seemed that many of you appreciated that. So I'm not going to do the live review of the Surface Pro today in this channel. However, I will be scheduling it for tomorrow, Tuesday. So if you do watch the Twitter feed, Facebook, Google+, and whatnot, you'll see the link go out. It will happen live, as might all future hardware reviews, so that I can give you my perspective, as well as take your questions and address your questions when the actual review is happening, which I hope is different enough from the way that other YouTube channels choose to do hardware reviews. The Locker Gnome Daily Report is being brought to you by GoToMeeting with HD Faces, the powerfully simple way to meet online from anywhere. With GoToMeeting, you share the same screen, making it easier to be on the same page, all while seeing each other in HD video. Easily launch or join a meeting using your computer, phone, or tablet, even present from your iPad. I used GoToMeeting this morning, once again, to connect with someone on the Vlogger Fair team, someone who's helping us find sponsors to make sure the event is paid for, because that's really one of the things I want to make sure that happens, is that my costs are covered. Doing an event isn't cheap, but to help save money, we use GoToMeeting. You can try GoToMeeting free for 30 days if you want to. Head over to GoToMeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code Pirillo. Good news for those of you who have installed the free Locker Gnome application, available for both iOS and Android. We've got an update coming down the pike, which includes iPad native views, making the free Locker Gnome app even more enjoyable. Hopefully you've been enjoying it. And if you've been having problems with push notifications, we've addressed them too. So you should be downloading that, because it's free. Plus, if you've been looking to make your own iPhone app, we've got a video course that you can get for 40% off. Not bad. We can save you $20 on that thing. And you can earn $10 just for sharing that link if someone ends up getting that course through the link that you happen to share. Deals.lockergnome.com, and that direct link, of course, is in this video's description. I've been using the Mobile Roadie platform to build the free Locker Gnome application, but if you wanted to do your own, this is probably a good way to start. Second Life, Free Realms, and parenting in 2013. It's been a while since I last logged into Second Life, and you can see that because I remember recording and uploading the footage of me last logging into Second Life. My account's still active there, just don't really use it. Never really even used it, even when everybody else seemed to be using it. It's interesting, and it was interesting. It's just, well, it's interesting. One thing I haven't dealt with in life is parenting. And at some point, I probably will. And don't worry, I'm sure you'll experience everything for the first time as I'm experiencing things for the first time. That's the beauty of vlogging life experiences. But I can only imagine how difficult it is to be able to explain to a child that your identity of who you are through an avatar online is possibly different from your real identity. But at what point does that pseudo identity become your real identity? And I think these are deeper issues that some people may wrestle with today, even if you're not dealing with Second Life. How much of yourself do you put out there? You know, whether it's vlogs or just even something as simple as tweets. And do you separate yourself, your real self, from that online projection of yourself? Now, the way I've always done it is I've never lived vicariously. I've always just kind of put whatever I was thinking out there, and I think a lot of people do. But some people, tie themselves to an alternate identity, and I don't think there's, a point where one way is right, one way is wrong. It's just a different way of expressing yourself. And I think it's easier to express your real self when some of those negative consequences really aren't thrown at you, specifically in realms like Second Life. So there's my question for you. Do you put yourself online? Do you project a different persona online? Which way do you choose to go with, and why? If you didn't know you could create a Windows 7 Firewall shortcut, wonder no more, because apparently some people were wondering how to do it. And that's something that you and I may take for granted. In fact, this weekend, I set aside an hour and a half of my time to re-record the presentation that I did last week in Pittsburgh, and I recorded that for you and put it into this YouTube channel. Many of you appreciated it, even though the intended audience wasn't for geeks. It was more for people who are trying to figure out how to incorporate technology into their regular lives. So a lot of the stuff that I put out there, even how I present it, I try to do it in such a way that I'm explaining things in a way that non-geeks can understand. Or to put it another way, the core part of our community are people like me, geeks. But the greater part of the audience, or the people who are going to be interested in the things I say, are people who aren't geeks at all. Geeks and non-geeks alike may appreciate the PC maintenance guide, available for free. Simple, effective tips for tuning, upgrading, and repairing your Windows PC. And take a guess as to where the link to where you could download that guide is. That's right, in this video's description. There's a treasure trove of links wherever that video description happens to be. Are they putting it up there, down? Is it over there? Where's the description? Somewhere where the video lives on YouTube. Computer bugs don't always have to suck, especially if they're iOS controlled. That's a piece of hardware, a bug that you can control with iOS. Who wouldn't want to have a computer bug, especially with the 27% discount that we found for you? Plug and play, USB rechargeable, realistic robotics, and free global shipping. In light of the Boston Marathon explosion, Google has released something called the Google Person Finder. Through this service, you have two choices. You're either looking for someone or you have information about someone. That, above everything else we've talked about in TLDR today, is worth sharing with your friends no matter where they live. YouTube has added support for live streaming in its new iOS update, which will come in handy, especially if you're going to be tuning in for the live review of the Surface Pro happening tomorrow, probably around 4 p.m. Pacific. And even though I haven't scheduled that yet, I'll be sure to push out the link to all my social networks, so thanks again for following. Mozilla is set to debut Firefox OS in 5 countries this June. I've got a question, and this may have been asked before, but how many of you are still using Firefox? I'd guess that if you are still using Firefox, it's probably because of the extensions. It's just that, why not use Google Chrome? And that's not to say that everything you do in life needs to revolve around Google. It's just that I'm curious, what keeps you with Firefox? I mean, isn't Chrome and now the Blink engine just as open sourcey? And truthfully, I don't care what browser you use. While I'm curious about your reasoning for using one browser over another, I generally don't care which browser you use, because that's your personal choice, not mine. EA retires popular Facebook games The Sims Social, SimCity Social, and Pet Society. I never liked Facebook games. I don't think I ever played one, not even Farmville. Microsoft enhances Windows 8 News, Maps, and other apps. I was going to show you the News app to illustrate just how easy it was to now subscribe to an RSS feed. However, I'm installing Windows updates. Well, if you can wait a few more minutes, I'm 14% complete right now. Nope, still stuck at 14. Our question of the day is brought to you by GoDaddy.com. If you want to save money on your next purchase, just email me first. I'll send you my latest list of coupons, which you may want to do sooner rather than later, because at some point in the near future, GoDaddy may no longer be sponsoring this broadcast. The Tech Dude asks, bought an iPhone 5, now what? Why not just download some apps? Many of them happen to be free no matter which platform you choose to use. That's the beauty of being able to have choice, is that you can choose what's best for you. It depends on what it is that you want to do with your device, no matter if it's running iOS, Android, Windows Phone, hell, even if it's a BlackBerry device. I don't care. There are apps available for you to try. I've even found some interesting apps for Windows 8. What? Oh, my PC ran into a problem. That's not the app I was trying to demonstrate, mind you. I'm just saying that it's worth exploring. And because so many of these apps are available without costing you anything, well, you're holding yourself back. And that's not to say that every app you do download is going to be worth downloading. In fact, many of the apps available in these app stores suck. I always shake my head when I hear one of these companies or another brag about how many apps are available, because 99% of them you wouldn't even want for free. Think of problems or everyday issues that you're always looking to solve, and that's where you begin. For example, if you're looking for the lowest gas prices in your area, you would want to download a gas price app, and I'm guessing that many of the platforms out there have apps that can solve that problem. I don't have any specific recommendations because I really don't know what problems you're looking to solve, other than telling you you can solve your problems on just about any smartphone platform. And no matter which one you decide to use, thanks again for liking and sharing the content we have shared with you today, because we could not do this without you, and believe you me, we appreciate you as much as you appreciate us. We'll see you later.